Hello and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Winona, and today I'll be playing the maddest of lads, Mad Lad. And today I am with the amazing, the wonderful, my wonderful, awesome friend.
Hi, I'm Spec. I will be playing the glitch boy Kire.
Yes,
Winona, my beloved.
yes, Kire, my beloved. Yeah, and yeah, today on Mad Lad's agenda, he's just like, hey, Ponable hasn't been at the apartment for a while now. He's starting to get concerned about his older sibling. So,
As you should.
yeah. So the first place that he decides to start looking is the place of where they work, which is the Atlas Theater, which he doesn't pay for the train. He just sneaks on. He just sneaks on there and gets there.
Mad Lad, my beloved.
He's not gonna pay for a
Oh
train if he
God.
doesn't have to. He's
I mean, nobody in Sue is gonna stop him, so
yeah. So
sorry.
he gets all the way to the Atlas Theater eventually. So what do you like to take over and give a little description of this theater and what Mad Lad sees?
Yeah, I'll give him a little rundown. Explain how he gets to the attic, possibly.
I say we can start with the theater for right now.
The
But yeah.
theater, okay. So, the Atlas Theater is it's this very large and grand theater. When Mad Lad looks up, it just towers over him. It is huge and it shines and it's this weird like mix of old and modern. And he could tell it's been here for a very long time. And the biggest
Mhm.
center is these giant grand doors that are open. And when he walks in, the first thing he's greeted with is this giant staircase that leads up and into the auditorium, which leads into this giant theater. And he can see a bunch of people just walking around on the stage. There's a couple people in the seats trying to just wandering around, but most of the people seem to be on the stage. And he can see a lot of people heading behind the stage too.
Mm.
It is very busy in here.
I see. He's probably gonna then take those stairs to see everyone, and we're gonna make a perception check to see if he sees Pawn off the bat. Or try to see.
He who.
He who. Alright, go into the roll zone. What's your perception, my boy? Okay, yes, you're proficient in that. Okay, pretty starting off strong. 16.
Yeah, very nice. He does not see Pawn, sadly. Um, but he can see, so that he can find some help. This average height, real kind man, standing a bit closer, and he's writing something on a piece of paper as he talks to another real kind that looks exactly like him. And I can drop the references if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
For
I say go ahead, drop them again. I love seeing your art.
we got to hunt those boys down. If you want, he can walk over there while I snag those.
Yeah, and he's used to deal. Yeah, I say he goes over to these real kinds, and he tugs on he tugs on one of their legs.
One of them down and goes, uh, and he turns to the other one and says, "This one's new, right?" And then he looks back at Madeline and says, "I haven't seen you here before. Are you? Why are you here?" And he looks so genuinely confused at Madeline.
I want to say, do you know where Ponable is?
Okay, the same real kind of pauses and goes, and he seems a little sad for a second. He's like, "A pawn hasn't been here for a little bit. They said that they needed to leave. Do you know where they are? Possibly."
Mad Lad looks a bit downtrodden when they hear that. It's like, no, I was worried about my older sibling, and I thought the first place to look was, well, where they worked.
the one that you're talking to, not the one I just sent the reference for, the other one, kind of rubs the back of his neck and goes, yeah, no, I haven't seen the kid in a while. They came back here with the other one they had brought, and they hung around for a few days before they just told me they had to leave. I'm hoping they come back soon. I'm starting to get worried.
Mad Lad nods. I'm worried too. Is Kire here then?
Oh, that's the one. He looks at his twin. He's like, that's the one Pawn brought back, right? That one. And he says a little disdainfully, to which the other one just nods.
Yeah,
And
Mad
goes,
Lad is
yes.
gonna incite that immediately.
Let me grab their sheet.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Let's see. Yeah, no, I won't argue that one. You can tell that the one talking is not particularly fond of Kire. He doesn't reveal much. He's very, I can let me roll his deception to see just how. Jesus, forgot you had a big modifier.
Oh.
Okay, for those wondering, this character has a +7 to deception and just got a 9, so that can tell you what he rolled.
They rolled a 2, got a and they have a +7, so it's just like, oh, what does Mad Lad read?
What does Mad Lad read? Okay, you can tell that this real kind does not like Kire. It's not like a sort of hatred. It's more of a sense of annoyance. There's this energy of just very much annoyance regarding Kire. And there you go. There's the boy.
Mad Lad
there he is.
Narrows his eyes at this one real kind. They have a name, Kire, and again, I like to see him.
The other one, kind of picking up that his twin is making the small child upset, because the other one has a couple more brain cells, it seems, goes, we don't... it's complicated. And even though he's trying to handle it, the Liam, the one who was acting disdainfully, jumps in and says, we don't actually know where the kid is.
But yet
we...
Sorry, you go?
You go.
No, you go.
We think he's possibly... We know he's in the theater. It's just... it's a big theater, and the kid actively avoids me.
Well, good thing I'm a ranger now. I can track him down. As long as I know he's in here, I'll find him.
Liam looks at him and says, well, if you do, please tell us. We like knowing where everyone is.
He sort of like squints at Liam again. All right.
Everybody hates Liam, the poor boy. He can't help that he doesn't like her.
Well, the first thing that Mad Lad hated off the bat is like he didn't even like call him his name. He just called him and thing. And Mad Lad has a lot of baggage with that sort of wording.
Mad Lad, our beloved, I hold gently.
Kire is a person. You say his name if you know his name.
Okay, in Liam's defense, there's a lot of children in this theater. If you roll another perception, you will realize there is a lot of children in this theater. This poor man is a little overwhelmed.
This Mad Lad doesn't care as of right now.
Mad Lad's... I love Mad Lad. This is why I love Mad Lad. Yes, so if Mad Lad looks around, he will find, and do you want me to tell you what he's probably able to get from other people?
As of right, what is the basic vibe of the room?
The basic vibe is just, he asks around, and he kind of follows for little clues, and he finds that nobody really ever sees Kire anywhere very populated. The kid tends to avoid everyone.
Mhm.
So eventually he gets the vibe that and he learns that the kid works in the catwalks, which are up, which are also connected to the attic. So he's able to get a good idea of where, based off, Kire doesn't like to be near people. Kire works near the attic. Attic has nobody there. Pretty safe bet.
Mad Lad is very Mad Lad's like, all right, attic it is. As he doesn't, he says the cat he knows theater in quotation marks, like he's used to a more traditional theater like this because like he's been to at least one theater at least in his lifetime and knows like the catwalks are above the stage and
Yeet.
when and usually they have ladders and stuff behind the
There
stage.
is. There is a ladder located in backstage that he can take up.
And Mad Lad
And
is gonna take up that ladder.
I'm going to say everyone's really busy and does not notice this kid because it is so chaotic.
Yeah, let's not get
It's
him
like
distracted.
it's like lunchtime or something. There's too many people out there. They're not paying attention.
Yeah, Mad Lad just climbs the ladder and tries to find the attic from the catwalks.
And as
Uh,
he goes to the catwalks,
mhm.
do you want to see if he rolls for it, or do you just want to say he finds it?
Let's roll to see how long it takes for him to find it.
Yeah.
All right, let's say that'd be investigation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Mhm.
sweet.
Yep.
Matt doing all the good rolls today.
Oh boy.
Um, you actually notice it very quickly. It's not directly located to it, but you can see where, like, if you follow the catwalk, you can head up and you
Mhm.
will actually be able to reach this door located really high up above on, like, when you had entered, you noticed, like, the main theater had, like, this giant, like, dome shape above it, and
Yeah.
there was, like, a little door. You're able to actually take the catwalk up, go around, and reach and go into that door.
All right, and Mad Lad is
Whole
going to
journey.
that door and opening it and looking inside.
You want to make a perception or investigation? See what
Uh,
you
let's go
see.
with a perception first since we're entering a new area.
Yee.
All right. You jinxed
You
me.
notice, yeah, you notice a lot of objects. A lot actually. In fact, the attic is filled with a mix of Toon and real kind things. There is a bunch of stuff from past musicals and plays. There's things you wouldn't normally expect a theater to have. Like that is a lot of weapons sitting in that corner. And there's a couple of potions, but it's fine. It's just filled to the brim. You don't notice Kire.
Yeah, Mad Lad's gonna take a look at those weapons, look at those potions, and become tempted for a minute. For like a good solid minute, he's just like, ooh, I could use those. But at the same
He's gonna have a
time,
hard time understanding.
he has to shake his head. It's like, no, 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 I'm here to see Kire. I can loot this place later if wanted.
Let me see a stealth roll for Kire. Oh yeah, no, he does not see Kire. Does he want to try and call out or anything?
I was
Which, by
just
the way, I
about
will
to.
probably be rolling
I was
a
just
lot of
about to
stealth
say.
rolls.
I was about to say. He then cups his hands and calls out, "Kire, are you here?"
Do not mind me. I will be making a lot of stealth rolls to see just how long. Okay. Oh god. Okay. You hear from right behind you, um, a voice, and it goes, "What are you doing here, monster?"
Yeah, you don't need to roll a perception check as
No.
Mad Lad freezes when he says that. Uh, I'm here to see if you know anything about Ponable. They haven't been to the apartment in a very long time.
Maybe they're avoiding you. I'm sorry, Madeline, my beloved. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, Mad Lad. Yeah, Mad is like, if you Pon. He's just like, Pon is my sibling. They even called me brother in the fight. They wouldn't abandon me.
Well, the voice hesitates for a second. Uh, if, well, Pawn seems really good at abandoning people, if what you said means anything. So, what difference would it be? You said they abandoned family before, why won't they abandon you? They've got reasoning after all.
I'm not gonna give up on them. I, I they may be scared. I'm scared. I don't want after what happened, I don't want this to happen again. But I'm not gonna give up on Pawn.
Old man led so gently. I'm sorry.
No, this is perfect. Continue.
You broke me. And there is once again this hesitation from behind Mad Lad as the voice seems to think over what he said. Before finally it goes, I haven't seen them. And even if I had, I wouldn't tell something like you. I don't want you to hurt anything else.
I don't want to hurt anything else either, but I want to make sure my family is safe.
And how can I believe you? How do I know you're not just lying again? Monsters like you don't care. You think I had you believe that you want to make things better, that you feel things?
What kind of monster are you then? Everyone say Pond calls me sibling. Cruz still loves me even though I attacked him. What does it say about you that they're willing to trust me and try to help me get through this and you won't?
Oh. Let me
Maybe you're
see.
the monster.
Oh, there is this silence. Just this just this silence as the voice is unable to respond. And then when it just it can't. It all Mad Lad hears is a really soft glitch beep.
Yeah, and I think Mad Lad has turned around by now. That even though
Oh,
they can't see Kire, they're still facing to where the voice is heard.
actually, with that stealth and that the perception, I have a very specific visual.
All right.
Um, when Mad Lad turns around, he is faced with this giant chandelier that's like falling apart,
Mhm.
and he can see through the crystals the somewhat reflection of Kyre on the other side, and he can see his reflection on this side, and they're all kind of mixed together,
Mhm.
and they make one image almost. Like there are some crystals you can tell who you're looking at, but a lot of them just look like these broken crystals with a person in it, and it's hard to tell who is who.
Mhm.
I've been thinking about that visual a lot. Thank
Yeah,
you. Um,
it's a good visual.
that is all. He could, Malik could probably see
Mhm.
through the crystals that Kyra is glitching a lot, and he's trying to think of a response. And then finally, just this very glitchy voice, I am nothing like you.
I don't think
And
anything's like me. And
I,
if there is, I feel pity for them. But I know what it feels like to be an outsider. I know what it feels like to not belong anywhere. And he takes a step closer. I just I've made mistakes. I should have told everyone about this. I was afraid that they would react like you did, that they'd be afraid of me, that they would push me away, that they would want nothing to do to me because of what I about this curse. But I want to be better. I want to break this curse, whatever the hell it is. I don't want to hurt anyone else.
Oh, I hope so gently. There's this silence again, as Kire thinks over what he says, and then finally says, and what if they don't? What if no matter how hard you try, they still they still know, they think, they whatever, you're a monster. What if you can't change that?
Then I'll find ways to deal with it. And heck, if I have to go talk to gods, I will.
There's this pause before he notices movement, and you know, Kyers seems to be contemplating moving around the chandelier. He kind of gets part of the way, and then he kind of stops and he stands there, and he's not. Madlight could tell he's not looking at Madlight. He's kind of looking at the ground, and he goes, "So, at the festival, how much of that was you? And
None of
how
it.
much of it was a lie?"
The only part that wasn't me was when I fought you. Everything else was me. The veins, say, he like clutches his hand to his chest. Those are the signs of that he's trying to take over, from what I could deduct. If they get too much, he takes over fully.
Can Kyra see any veins right now?
Yeah, there's no veins on him.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have Kyra roll an insight to see if he actually believes Mad Lad.
Mm-hmm.
Kyra, I
Uh,
don't know.
uh, Dice
No.
Parser, why?
No. Dice Parser said this is going too well. Kyra does not move, and he's like, and how can I believe that? In fact, he actually takes a step back, farther away from Mad Lad, and hides more behind the chandelier. How do I know this isn't a trick? Why should I believe you? What reasoning do I have to believe? I mean, after all, you're being nice to me after you just called me a monster. No, this is just another trick, isn't it? It's just another trick. It's always a trick with you, isn't it?
He looks away. He's like, yeah, I did. Because, well, you don't say. Look at the way you're acting. It's just you're being. Come on. I know that I've messed up, but you're being a little bit heartless, aren't you? I mean, come on. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to not hurt anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone anymore. And I can't fully control this curse yet. I've learned little bits how to manage it. But can you not see I'm trying?
Oh. Let's please, Dice Parser, be nicer this time. No.
I mean, do you want to roll advantage?
Oh yes, please. Oh my gosh, Dice Parser. Oh,
Woo! Nat
that's a
20!
nat 20, boys. Kyre looks at Mad Lad, and he the glitching seems to be getting a bit worse, actually, but he does step out enough that Mad Lad can see this one dark side. He can't see the color side, but he can see the dark side just casted completely in shadow. As Kire looks around and looks at him and says, "If you're trying, you can't really blame a person for what they can't control, can you?" That's what Pawn would say.
Mad Lad gives a little nod. Yeah.
He looks at Mad Lad and then he looks at the ground again. And he says, "It's ignoring everything that happened afterwards. If that really wasn't you, how do I know it won't happen again, or that next time I go anywhere near you, it won't happen again? How do I know you're not gonna hurt me?"
Mad Lad is very quiet at that.
Mm.
And he's just like he he just looks down, looks around. He takes a breath, just like you just I there's always until I find a way to either control it or get rid of it. There will always say I feel like there will always Alexander is not leaving. He'll always be there, but you're just gonna have to trust me enough that you'll that I will try to hold this back, that I will do everything that I can do to hold him back, to say that I'll protect you from him.
That is some good. That is some good. Oh, the word protect. That's a good word to use again with Kire.
Mhm.
I'm gonna see how scared the kid is, but I will do advantage because that was a very important wording. I have certain words that we'll
Mhm.
take it. We'll take the 14.
Yes.
Kire is he steps closer, and now Mad Lad can see the kid in all himself. He's not in his costume anymore.
Mhm.
He's his how he normally looks. I can grab that reference while I talk.
Mhm.
Um, he's very quiet though, and Madeline notices this kid has almost no saturation. It's he's very just almost black and white. Um, and then he also notices before Kyra's eyes had been little circles,
Mhm.
but he notices that the pupils in them are actually in the shapes of teardrops now.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
there's our reference for the boy normally.
Yeah.
He looks at Mad Lad and he goes, "Have you I I don't trust you, but I guess I can't not trust you either. I confusing. Okay, and you want to make an insight on that?
Yeah, I'll make an insight on that.
You can even try to make an insight on the eyes if you want to.
Let's just go say let's see what the basic insight goes
Let's
with.
see what the basic insight is.
Oh, dirty
That's a
20.
dirty 20. Okay. You can tell Kyer is very nervous. He is very upset, and the teardrops are a lot like what Pawn's eyes do. How Pawn gets the shape on their cheek, you
Mhm.
notice Kyra's eye is in the same. It's not changing. It's stuck in a teardrop, but it's one of those weird shapes things. You also notice he seems what's the word? Like he's upset, but he wants to trust Mad Lad. Mad Lad can tell that Kire wants Mad Lad to be telling the truth right
Mad
now.
Lad looks at Kire and sort of can read all this and takes a step closer to him. And like he doesn't do this in a rush motion, like Kire can pull away, but he goes out to reassuringly hold his hand.
Please, Kire, please accept the hand. We'll take it. Because fluff. Kire steps back and he has a good size glitch. But after a moment, he extends the dark side of his hand. He keeps his color side very far away, but he extends the dark side and he looks at Mad Lad and says, "If you do anything, I won't hesitate to protect myself."
I want you to protect yourself if the worst comes, if Alexander does come back. I don't blame you. I won't have any reservations of you trying to hurt me. I because he won't hesitate to hurt you. I won't be mad at you if you attack me if he comes out again.
There's this pause as Kire looks at Mad Lad and then goes, "At least you're, well, you accepting it's a good start." So. There is a pause as Kire takes his hand back and he looks at Mad Lad. I need to roll hammer space. So you said that Pun hasn't been anywhere near you, right?
Well, not near me. It's just more at the apartment. They haven't come back to the apartment.
He kind of rubs his arm and he goes, "Can you read?"
I can read in multiple languages.
Oh, poor Kyra gets really embarrassed suddenly. He's like, oh, um,
I can read. I
can
say I
you
can read Growlix. I can read Common. I can read Draconic and Infernal.
can you read something then?
Yeah.
And you watch as Mad Lad reaches, I mean, not Mad Lad, words. You watch as Kyer reaches into his hammer space and pulls out a very crumpled piece of paper and he hands it to Mad Lad. What does it say?
Mad Lad.
I can't read.
Mad Lad takes a moment as he looks at this piece of paper. And he slowly, like, puts out a finger to, like, go underneath the words as he's reading it. So, like, Kyer could get the sense of, like, this is what the words mean. He says out loud, "I'm sorry about everything that happened at the house. I think Alexander was right about one thing, though. I am a coward. Ponable B."
Oh, you watch as Kyer just lets out this little glitch and he goes, oh, 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 Pawn, we got to find Pawn. We got to find Pawn. And he says this with a lot, just complete, just, I can't think of the word. He means
Panic?
it. It's not, it's a mix of panic, but it's also, it's like determination. That's the word I needed.
But is he glitching?
Yes, he is glitching.
Can Bad Lad even the little bit of like I'm gonna roll an insight on the glitching. What's the base say? What's the basic?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, what's the basic?
He probably could tell at least that that's not a good thing.
Yeah, that is not a good thing. He can tell that the glitching is two things. One, it means something's not right, and two, it's kind of a bit exhausting for Kire.
Hey,
Because
hey,
he's noticed the longer they've been talking, the more tired Kire's been looking.
hey, as Mad Lad again reaches out to, like, grab his hand, but still in a slowish motion, but he grabs it and, like, his thumb, like, rubs against the back of his hand reassuringly. I know. We do have to find Pawn. We will find Pawn. But we can't. We have to think about this.
Kire looks at Mad Lad and he pauses and he looks at where Mad Lad's rubbing his hand, and you noticed a couple of the glitches start to stop, and he takes a deep breath, and you didn't notice it until now, but he'd actually started to turn like this blue color, but he's slowly going back to his desaturated self, and he looks and he says, and he can't even form words. He's just, now that he's not so terrified around Mad Lad, he doesn't trust Mad Lad. There's still no trust there, but he's not as terrified around Mad Lad. He has to like focus on the pawn situation, especially with what he now knowing what that note means. He's having to think over the pawn situation, and it's just making him more upset. They were upset, and I ignored them, and they were here. If they weren't with you, that means they were here the whole time, and I ignored them, and it's got this. Maybe they wouldn't have run away, and you haven't seen them, and
Mad Lad, like, gets closer to him and just, like, does the motion of, like, let's sit down.
Oh, they sit down. They do sit down. They sit down in the middle of this attic, and Kyer pulls his knees up to his chest. He's purposely sits so his dark side is next to Mad Lad, but he pulls his knees up to his chest and he looks at Mad Lad.
Whatever's happened has happened. All we can do now is think of how we're gonna find Pawn.
Kyer starts to say something, and then he pauses and he thinks and he closes his mouth and he's like, and then he nods and he's like, "Yeah, we'll find him no matter what."
Mad Lad gives a smile and, like, a reaffirming nod. Yeah, we will. As Mad Lad slowly, like, goes over to sit beside Kyer and offers a shoulder.
Oh. Kyer looks at Mad Lad and, please, Kyer, please don't be too scary. He doesn't lean on Mad Lad. He doesn't scoot away, but he's not quite ready to trust Mad Lad yet.
Yeah. And Mad Lad say, like, the offer's say Mad Lad's body language is like, yeah, the offer's still there, but I understand that you need space. And Mad Lad looks at them and is like, do you have a, other than this theater, do you have an idea of where they might be?
Oh, I don't know Kyer.
If he doesn't know, it's
Kyer,
okay if it. Sorry, you go.
Kyer shakes his head no, and he's like, no, Pawn didn't talk about their own life as much. She would talk about a lot of things, and she told me a lot about the world, but she they never really told me about their life. I don't all I know is they went here and then they went to wherever you guys live, and they would come back here and then go, and I I didn't even know that they had run away or from something.
Mad Lad nods at that. Yeah, I. It. The conversation happened when I started, say, during a vacation where uh, it was sort of rough. They looked say, I wanted to talk to them because at first because it's like they were say we were like I said we were on vacation. They were starting to. I noticed some quirks that depending on what kind of words that I said, especially relating to family, they became a little bit uncomfortable. And so I talked to them about it, about my life, about what happened to me, and I learned that they are originally from the Uncanny Valley, and their family moved. Well, I don't know where, but they moved from the Uncanny Valley to somewhere up here.
Kyra looks at him and he nods and he processes it, and then he asks, "What's the uncanny valley?"
Okay, I'll be honest. I thought you were partially from the Uncanny Valley because the he sides to the glitching side. Also,
Just
also,
motions to his scene. It's just that scene where you where he motions to all of Kyra.
also, also, honestly, I I'm gonna sound probably stupid, but you're not a sibling to Pond because I mean, you two aren't siblings, right? I'm guessing you're not siblings because you don't know where came from, so you would have probably known, but it's just like the resemblance.
Calling spec out on that, aren't you? Get the call out. Can you make an insight on that actually?
All right.
50. You know what? Let me make a deception. It's gonna be a +3. That's the wrong number. That's a nat 1, boys!
Oh!
Oh, Kyer, um, Madeline notices a bunch of embarrassment fill up Kyra's face, and the kid looks away, and he's like, "We're not siblings. I've, it's, you can tell that he seems a bit sad. I don't, we're not siblings, first of all. Yeah, Pawn is a lot like me. That's why I tried to talk to them the first time. It's though he looks at the ground. He's like, I can promise you, Pawn's not from anywhere like where I'm from. And I would hope that you're not from places like that either. It's
Where are you from?
Kyre curls up a little bit more, and he starts turning a bright shade of blue. And let me make a wisdom saving throw to see if he. You know what? I'll make a wisdom saving throw if you make a persuasion to see if you can actually get Kyra to admit that.
All right. What is your persuasion? Okay.
This is going to be very good or very bad.
Oh, okay.
Um, I'm from nowhere, or I guess somewhere in the UPAN city. I mean, I don't No, I just know I was there and I lived on the streets for a while, and then there was, and you watch as it's the blue suddenly turns bright blue, and he curls up, and he's like, and then there was the other place, and now it's here. And he's now a bright shade of blue, and he's glitching a lot as he curls up very close to himself.
Oh, you could definitely tell Mad Lad is concerned by the word other place. And he tries to wrap an arm around Kire in comfort.
Oh, this might go badly. Oh, that. Okay, Kyra lets Mad Lad hug him, and he doesn't say anything. He just stays curled up, and he goes, I've heard the word uncanny before, but it was not. I didn't know it was a place. It
I,
wasn't exactly a good word, so I didn't realize that other tunes had it.
I mean, Crew's from the Uncanny Valley. It's just a place that's underground from what I have heard that there are tunes like Crew and Pawn that don't really fit a lot of normalities. And he says that with sort of a question mark. It's just like they just look different than normal. Well, not normal tunes, but they are tunes, but they just look different compared to others.
So it's a place of freaks. And Kyra curls up into a little ball.
I I mean, where I was from, I was a freak too. I lived on the other side of the world. There were like no tunes there other than Jimmy. He was my crewmate. Technically my uncle too.
Kyra,
Not like by blood or anything. I mean, I was adopted onto the crew.
oh, Kyra has a lot to process in that. He looks up and he kind of pokes his head up a minute and he goes, There's places outside Inkwell?
Oh, there's
There's.
tons of places outside Inkwell. I would say, gosh dang it, do I have the name up in front of me right now? I did not think we would get this far.
No, nobody thought we'd get this far, but then you rolled the great persuasion against Kyra's horrible wisdom, and here we are.
Here we are indeed.
Dice Parser just said, "Lore our beloved."
There's a say I'm a say. Technically, I'm from the middle of the ocean. I was found floating around there, but my mama is originally from the continent genre, and she grew up in Astrine, but she didn't like Astrine that much. So, well, pirate.
Kyra is looking at Mad Lad, and he's actually starting to not be such a eye strain shade of blue. In fact, he's starting to calm down a bit, and he's going back to he's still desaturated, but at least it's not that bright blue. And he's listening to Mad Lad, and he's like, "The ocean? Is that how big is the ocean? You're a pirate? What's that like?" And he seems to actually be curious.
It's really big. And technically, the ocean is like everything that's not continent, but yet they name different parts of the ocean different ones so you know where you are. There's even like this weird teleportation circle in the middle of one of them that randomly takes you to a place. I heard there's stories that there was like one boat that went into the teleportation circle like by accident and got actually teleported onto land, and now that's a city. Never been there myself, but it's a cool story.
Kyra's eyes are so wide now as he listens, and he's like, have you so you've like seen this ocean? You've been outside Einquell? Well, I mean, you said you were from outside Einquell. That means you're from outside. That means you're from outside Einquell." And like he's kind of looking up at Mad Lad in a bit of like Mad Lad's so cool at that moment. Like the fear has been replaced by this sense of curiosity.
Yeah. I even think that my mom used that teleportation circle to like get to Inkwell more quickly. I I don't know how she did it, since it's technically supposed to be random where you go. But my mom's like really lucky, like extremely lucky. And I think that's how we got there. I don't know exactly. I just remember sleeping and then the next day be like, hey, we're only a couple of days from Inkwell.
His eyes are so wide, and he's like, so. And then he kind of pauses as his brain thinks, he's like, so where's your mom now?
Now it's time for Mad Lad to start curling up into a ball. She's
Oh,
she's dead. All of them are dead.
Kire opens his mouth to say something and then quickly decides against it. And he just very quietly goes, I'm sorry.
It it's okay. I've been alone. I was alone for a while until I met Joanne and crew and Pawn and Princess. They became my new family. Or at least I like to think so. Even now, I'm sometimes he like curls up a little bit tighter. I still wonder. The bad thoughts are still there.
Kire looks at him and he kind of pauses and he thinks, and he's like, I still don't think I can trust you, and I don't know if the others are safe around you, but I. And he seems to be questioning right now if he should be doing this, but he's like, I think the others do care about you. I mean, we saw how they reacted at the house. Once everything was over, nobody else really mattered besides you. Everything else was just an afterthought. And he kind of glitches on that and his voice catches a bit.
Mad Lad, like, he's like, yeah. It's still hard though. I never thought I would have to deal with this again after the first time. It's been years since he's come out, but that woman, that witch, did something to me, and now he, I, he like clutches his chest. He's gone stronger, or my control of him has gone a bit weaker than before. I don't know which one's worse.
Scoots away a bit. I will be honest, Kyra does scoot away a bit. He looks at Madeline and he goes, well, he's not here right now, so obviously you're strong enough to do some good.
Mad Lad gives a little nod. Yeah. What was the other place that you mentioned that you were from? They didn't do. He like pauses. They weren't slavers, were they?
No, they weren't slavers. I never ended up in a place like that, luckily.
Mad Lad gives a sigh of relief. Good. I hope you never have to.
Have you?
Mad Lad shook his head. No, but my mom was, and so was my dad. They were once they were once in captive, and it wasn't good for them. They were able to get out, but I couldn't imagine what they went through in the moment.
Kire is quiet as he listens, and he doesn't have a response to that. How do you respond to that? This kid is he doesn't. He all he does is he looks at his hand, which is glitching a lot, and he please dice parser beloved reaches out towards Mad Lad
Mad
as
Lad.
a strange sign of comfort.
Mad Lad scoots a little bit back, a little bit closer to him, and grabs his hand and sort of hugs his arm in a way. I miss them. I miss them a lot.
Well, it's better to have a family than to never have had one, even if you lose them, right?
Yeah.
At least you have the memories.
They're. Yeah, I have the memories. It's still bittersweet. I felt like I just wish I could have done something. That I felt so helpless in the moment of the attack. Couldn't do anything.
Kara looks at him and goes, "The attack?"
That's how they died. We were attacked by other ships. Don't know who or who they were, but I I just wish I could have done something.
Kara is really quiet, and he goes, "Well, unless you're telling me you've gotten smaller or you used to be able to control that thing, it most likely you couldn't have done anything." And he's trying. The poor kid's trying. He's doesn't know a lot, but he knows what he's heard other people say, and maybe one of those will work.
Matt like curls up a little bit tighter, and he gives a nod. He's like, I know I couldn't have done anything, in truth, but it's still, it's still sad that I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. He kind of pauses and he's thinking, and he's like, "But you have the others now, right?" I
Matt,
mean, I don't know how they're your family. I don't really know how families work, but
I
I
mean,
mean,
if you find a group of people that you care about really a lot, that's what family is really about. You don't have to be blood or ink related. Care about you.
Tyre blinks at that and he's looking at Mad Lad in actual confusion. Like, I'm not gonna even make you insight on that. The kid's just confused by that. He's like, "Me?
Adlad nods. Yeah, care about you.
I why? I He actually narrows his eyes a bit and he's like, "What do you want?"
You to be happy. Pond cares about you, so you must be a good person.
Tyre looks away at that and he's like, "I don't know if Pawn actually cares."
Well, I care about you, though. I know what it's like to be without a family, and I'm guessing from what you said, you never had a family before. I say you deserve. Everyone deserves something. Friends, family. People deserve to be loved.
Um, I'm thinking because I know what Kyra shakes his head. And he's like, "Not everyone."
Mad
Some
Lad shakes his
people.
head now. Yes, yes, everyone. Everyone deserves to be loved. Even Amon, even though I may have messed up, I say, I know that I say I deserve to be loved, and I gotta keep reminding myself that. And you deserve to be loved too.
Kire starts and he goes, but the file, and then he kind of shuts his mouth and looks away and he's like, you're just one person who thinks that. Lots of other people would disagree.
Well, I don't know what about this file, but that can burn in hell. I don't care. I don't care what it says. It can burn in hell. Even if it's just one person. One person is the one that matters.
Kire actually lets out, like, it's almost like a laugh, but you can tell this kid isn't actually used to that. So it's like this really weird mix of a beeps. And he goes, yeah, I guess it really just takes one person.
Mad Lad smiles and nods in affirmation. Yep.
Kire smiles a bit and he's like, I still don't trust you, but I'm sorry I called you a monster.
I'm sorry I called you a monster too. I was angry.
It's not the worst thing.
Mad Lad sort of just sort of like goes to like lean on Kire.
Please don't turn away, Kire. Please don't turn away. Please don't turn away. Please don't. Kire lets him lean on him. And the kid's very stiff, but after a moment he doesn't pull away. He just sits there. So are you going to leave after this? Go find Pawn and not come back?
Do you want? Oh, do you want me to come back?
You want to make an insight on that? I don't know if he's gonna say it out loud.
Come
I love how
on.
these two insight and wisdoms.
Oh, come on, no!
I have this one memorized. Oh, dinosaurs are
Oh
loving.
my.
How did you get lower than that, Kire?
Kire doesn't say anything, but Malak can tell the answer is yes. By the way, he kind of stiffens at the idea of Mad Lad not returning.
Mad Lad gives a nod. Alright, I'll come back. As he smiles. He then sort of looks to see if he's glitching.
He is still glitching a little bit. It's mostly his color side and especially his hand. It's really hard to see Kire's lined hand, but it's definitely not as bad as it used to. And he does notice that a bit of color has returned to Kire's shirt.
Is there any way I can help with that?
Kire gets quiet and he goes, no. Nobody can fix it. It's just my problem.
Well, I didn't say that I could fix it. I just want to help.
Kire looks at him and he seems to think and he goes, I don't know how you could. Pawn's the only one who ever seemed to help some, and I guess the real kind or Toon he seems a little confused on that one. He's like, the other one that was there, he helped a bit when he was stuck in Pon's body, but I think it's just a fear thing, a nervous. I don't even know what it is.
Hmm.
Just know it's not normal.
I
And he
see.
kind of curls up at that.
It's okay if it's not normal, but is there a way that I can help you relax since it's sort of based off fear?
I don't know. It's been really bad since the house. It hasn't really stopped, and he seems tired when he says that. He's like, it's I don't know if it'll be better until at least Pawn's back, and I know they're safe.
Hmm. Have you slept?
Kyer kind of nods and he's like, I have slept. He doesn't say anything. He just goes, I have slept, yes.
You just look tired. I just noticed.
It's exhausting sometimes, especially if my design changes.
Hmm. Let's see. Does he still have this in his hammer space? I don't say. Hmm. I must.
Look at these two bonding, my two
Yes.
beloved.
Yes, exactly.
This is healing from the past game.
Mhm. Madla is gonna look. Yeah, I say that's the wrong fumble chart. Okay, I was confused for a second. All right, it's on a different fumble chart. But Madla may be able to get this later. But he's gonna look around to see if he can find a blanket.
Um,
Uh,
Kyer actually has a blanket in his fumble chart.
oh, come on.
Yeah, you don't see anything, which is really funny considering if you look at the title card, what's behind that.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm sorry, I found that really funny. Nope, you don't see anything.
That is like, dang it. Though he does have, though I know he does have. It's starting to get colder now, so he does have his winter coat on. So Mad Lad takes off his coat and like lays it on Kyer like a blanket.
Oh, I hold this so gently. I hold this so gently. Um, Kyer pauses and he seems to relax a bit actually, and he pulls the coat around him until he's almost completely hidden behind it, and all you can see is his little head.
Yeah, and you smell the sort of like the salty scent of the ocean, even though you may not know what the ocean is. You smell that salty scent along with like a hint of like almost like a campfire smell, like that smoky smell that sticks onto you after you go to a campfire. Sort of
Kyer
those.
just kind of you go.
I was just gonna say those mixture of smells.
Kyer kind of closes his eyes and he takes a deep breath and he's like, "Your jacket smells fun. Smells different."
Well, it's been a lot of places.
Do you travel a lot?
Well, kind of still, yeah, I like going around. I mean, it's sort of natural for me. I like exploring places. It's not in my nature to be in one place for a long period of time, but, well, crew and the others are centered in Toontown, so I don't know. I've heard stories about traditional, and he does like the fake, like the air quotation, no families that are centered at one place. So it's different, but kind of nice to know where everything is all the time.
Harry kind of looks at him in wonder. He's like, so, wow. He's just in awe of this child who's gone all these places.
Yeah, but we can talk about that later. You seem tired. We could take a nap here.
Kire actually, perfect timing, lets out a little yawn. And it's just this really quiet beep. It's like a long, quiet beep. And he's like, beep. And he kind of makes a little big, giant yawning motion. He's like, I'm not tired.
Yeah, you are.
He kind of blinks slowly and he goes, maybe I am.
Then
And please.
let's rest.
Hmm?
And that lad lays down on the floorboards.
Kire can't sleep.
Uh,
He lays down next to Mad Lad, and he closes his eyes and he pretends to sleep, but he can't stop the fear of what would happen if he did fall asleep, and so he just lays there. But he does.
Mad Lad is actually going to like scoot closer to him and sort of like sort of nuzzle up against him because he's now, because of Pawn, and they sleep in the same bed because of the space of the apartment. So he's sort of become used to sleeping with someone.
Oh, I hold this so gently. Winona, my beloved, I hold this gently. Kire is very stiff, but he's kind of worried what would happen if he did run. So he just stays there and he keeps his eyes closed and he pretends to sleep. But
Yeah.
he does he pretends for a moment that it is safe. He can't sleep. He doesn't trust Mad Lad, but he pretends.
Yeah, see, Mad Lad actually quickly falls asleep. No,
Oh.
yeah. If
Oh, I hold up so gently.
yeah, I say he can like eventually like almost immediately tell like the rising and falling of his like of his chest. Like he quickly like is asleep, which is also amazing because this is a stiff floorboard. It's just like he doesn't care. Mad Lad has slept in weirder places.
Mad Lad, Kire, sleep anywhere.
if you if you want to roll one more, see if he falls asleep with advantage. If you want to try to make this soft.
If I do, I might have to roll a d10. Nope, it doesn't even matter.
I mean, this would maybe be the help action, so maybe advantage.
We did it with advantage. That is it. We can try again.
Try again.
We'll try again. I thought that was advantage. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I do need to roll a straight d20 though, because there is an item. Kire has now. Okay. Good dreams. We love good dreams.
Woo.
Oof. We were worried that curse was still there.
Mm-hmm.
Kire eventually he closes his eyes and he pretends for a moment that everything Mad Lad said was completely true. And he thinks a lot about what Mad Lad says, that he does care and the file doesn't matter and all it takes is one person. And he just very quietly goes, maybe you're right. And he closes his eyes, and for the first time, Kire falls asleep near someone.
And I think that's a good place to end it.
That's a beautiful place to end it. Oh, this is so soft.
Yes, we ended on soft, and I'm very happy about it.
Oh, there's so much trauma left in both of them still, but we got a soft moment, and I'm here for it. All right.
Yes, yes. Thank you everyone for listening in on this. I hope
Thank
you
you.
Yes, I hope you guys have a good day or good night or whatever time it is for you. And goodbye.
Bye.